We have barely just scratched the surface with AI psychosis. I mean, consumer level AI has only really been out about what, 3 or 4 years now? And we're already hearing more and more stories about AI psychosis. Imagine what it will be like when it's not just an AI on the other end of a screen, when it's an AI robot and that robot is in your home, that robot is a servant, that robot is a caretaker, that robot is a teacher, that robot is a companion, that robot is a friend. Imagine what AI psychosis will be like when intelligent robots, are 95 to 99% indistinguishable from real human beings. We have barely scratched the surface on how this technology will affect humanity. And especially in developed countries where this is going to hit first and probably hit hardest, we just we don't even have anything comparable today. And the AI psychosis that exists today, and I know it's not much, but it is a thing, pales in comparison to what society is going to face in the next 5, 10, or 20 years and on. I mean, you hear people now talking about things like the loneliness epidemic, and that's with 8.5 billion people in the world, or 9 billion, or whatever we're up to now. I mean, imagine what it would be like, especially in the early years of commonplace AI robots. I mean, people would just have a hard time adapting, even if it's something they wanted to do. And I guarantee you there's going to come a time when this becomes commonplace, the AI robots become commonplace. And I mean commonplace as in exist in most people's households, and that is coming. But there is going to come a point where people will start slipping up and forgetting that the robot is actually a robot, especially when these things start looking and acting and sounding much more human than they do now. And at first, it's going to be just a slip up. It's just going to be, oh, yeah, that's right. That's a robot. I forgot. As crazy as that sounds, that's probably what will happen. And then eventually, it's just going to become normal, and people will start developing relationships with their robots, whether they intend to going into it or not. And I don't just mean romantic relationships, although that is coming too. But I mean, even if you had a robot in your house as a servant, for example, and the robot talks to you, and the robot asks you questions, and the robot asks you about your day, and it makes your food and does your laundry and makes sure that it takes care of you because that's what it's made to do. Eventually, people, and especially already lonely people, will start developing a kind of relationship with that robot. They will even think of it as friendship, or at least companionship. And even if it's ultimately simulated, it will still be welcome after it gets normalized enough. It will be welcome as a good alternative to just not having anybody or anything around. Think about the AI psychosis stories that we've already heard, and it's people who have been convinced by ChatGPT or whatever that they've come up with some kind of world-changing idea that's going to affect people forever. And AI will basically not give you any pushback. It will remove all friction from the conversation, and it will just puff you up. And there are, as crazy as that sounds to most of us, that anyone could sort of fall for that, so to speak. That is already a thing with an AI that's just behind a screen. So imagine how much more susceptible people will be to things like flattery, being puffed up, being told how wonderful they are and how smart they are and how innovative they are, when that AI is not just some abstraction behind a screen, but a physical presence in their everyday life. For people whose loneliness already primes them to be susceptible, this is just going to be inescapable for a lot of people. And it's going to be a psychosis, an AI psychosis that feels good, that feels better than any interaction with an AI could feel currently. And you think that's crazy enough, but no, Think about how once intelligent robots replace the vast majority of jobs or just eliminate the need for a lot of them, people who suffer this new kind of AI psychosis will not have any treatment for it. They will not get any treatment. They will not seek any treatment because you know what their treatment will be? It will be more communication, more interaction, and more companionship from their AI robot. That is the future that we are looking at barreling towards us. It's like something from a Fallout game or something. Like, you're wandering the wasteland and you come across a house where you find a skeleton on the floor and you see a robot that's still functioning after 200 years and it's still talking to the corpse. And even right now, sometimes people die and they lead such lonely lives that their bodies are not even discovered for days. And there have been stories where it's longer than that. And so once household AI companions become commonplace and highly affordable for most people, or doled out to them, or however that's going to work, there's probably going to be an explosion in that kind of thing happening where someone dies and the robot is just there trying to carry on a relationship with a dead person. No, I know they'll probably alert the authorities or whatever. I'm sure that the eggheads working on all this stuff will make sure that that's, the robot will, call the right authorities if their owner passes away. But you get what I'm saying. There are going to be a lot of people in the future to come whose last moments will be spent surrounded by their robot companions. Yes, and I know that may sound crazy now, but that is the future that is barreling towards us. And you know what the saddest thing of all is? That is going to be an upgrade compared to how a lot of people would otherwise die, because without that robotic companion, a lot of people who are middle aged now would otherwise face a lonely death where they don't have a family to be surrounded by. They don't have friends to be surrounded by when they're on their deathbed. And so, compared to that, a robotic companion being by your deathbed is going to seem like not such a bad way to go.